Hello everyone, welcome to Codetav Management. Today we will discuss about RAG, Agentic RAG and OKF, Open Knowledge Format. So first of all, the topic is RAG. The full form is Retrieval-Augmented Generation. So RAG is the standard approach for grounding large language models, which is like LLMs, in external data, so they can reference authoritative information outside of their original training sources. How it works? So whatever documents it get, so documents are broken down into chunks and then converted into numerical representations. Those numerical representations are known as embeddings. So after that, those are basically stored in a vector DB. So when a user asks a question, so the system performs a semantic search to retrieve the most relevant fragments and feeds them to the LLM to generate an answer. So what is the advantage for that? So basically it is highly scalable and cost effective for introducing new data to an LLM without retraining the model. So whenever any new data will come, we can do that without retraining that model. So that's why it is best for dynamically searching massive libraries of unstructured documents like historical archives or extensive PDF repositories or any large text databases. Okay, so that's all about the RAG. Now comes Agentic RAG, Agentic Retrieval-Augmented Generation. So Agentic RAG basically evolves standard RAG from a passive retrieval mechanism into an active autonomous process. How it works? So instead of performing a single retrieval pass, an AI agent will come into picture. An AI agent basically acts as the orchestrator. So the agent can reason about user's prompt. It can determine like if it needs to use external tools or not, and after that it basically execute multiple retrieval steps, and finally it refine its search based on intermediate results. So now what are the strengths of it? So basically it overcomes the limitations of standard RAG by autonomously verifying the information, synthesizing the data from multiple diverse sources, and course correcting if an initial search yields poor result. So day by day through our Agentic RAG we can get better results. So that's why it's best for like complex user queries, like where requiring multi-step reasoning, troubleshooting a layered technical issue or compiling a research report from distinct separate databases. Okay, so for those cases actually Agentic AI is very much helpful. And now the new thing came, which is OKF, that is the Open Knowledge Format. So that basically introduced by Google in June 2026, like the last month only. And OKF basically is an open standard that challenges the assumption that AI always needs vector databases and embeddings. So it is not correct. So they actually told us that it provides a standardized way to package, share and reuse the knowledge across different AI systems. So how it works? So like instead of chunking the documents at query time, so knowledge is basically curated upfront into a directory of markdown files, and each file contains lightweight YAML metadata. So what kind of metadata? Like title, tags, timestamps, like that. And then it explicit cross links to related concepts, because the bundle is plain text. It can be version controlled in Git, allowing AI agents to directly traverse the network of explicit links rather than relying on like noisy disconnected retrieval fragments. So the main strength is like OKF, like the open knowledge format, basically eliminates the hallucination risks which are associated with fragmented retrieval, which we may get during the RAG. Okay, so it basically hands the agents concepts that have already been accurately structured and connected by humans. So it best for like high precision enterprise domains where accuracy matters more than breadth. So it excels with curated organizational knowledge like clinical guidelines, API contracts, metric definitions, and operational runbooks. So if we will compare between like among these three concepts like RAG, Agentic RAG, and open knowledge format, so if we will consider the point like retrieval method, so for RAG it is like single pass semantic search. For Agentic RAG, the retrieval method is like multi-step reasoning driven search, and for OKF it is like direct traversal of explicit links. We can directly traverse the explicit links. Okay, and if you will consider the data structure, so for RAG it can be unstructured text which are basically chunked into vector embeddings. For Agentic RAG, that is also unstructured or structured data via various tools. And for OKF, that is like the data structure should be like plain text markdown with YAML metadata, like a wiki. So primary advantage of RAG is like high scalability across massive datasets. For Agentic RAG, it is like autonomous reasoning and multi-hop synthesis. And for open knowledge format like OKF, the main advantage is like it is extreme precision and clear provenance. So when we basically use like what is the ideal use case of RAG? So mainly the main use case of RAG is like searching vast unstructured libraries. For Agentic RAG, like whenever some complex multi-layered problem solving we need to do, we can use that. And for OKF, like when reliable execution of strict guidelines and runbooks, for those cases that is best suitable actually. Okay, so I hope you have understood the basic understandings of RAG, Agentic RAG, and OKF, and the comparison between among these three concepts. Okay, so so to motivate me, do like, share, and subscribe. I will make more such videos in later. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.